Welcome to the Housing Authority of DeKalb County. Our mission is to provide sustainable and affordable housing as a platform to enhance lives. This presentation will give an overview of the information you need to successfully move into a new unit. If you or a family member requires special accommodations in order to have equal access to the Housing Choice Voucher Program, you may request a reasonable accommodation. At the conclusion of the briefing, please let our staff know if you should need assistance. During the briefing, we will discuss the information contained in the briefing booklet, explain the process of moving into a new unit, and provide information that will help you be successful as a Housing Choice Voucher Program participant. The briefing booklet located in your portal is an excellent resource that includes information to help you choose where you want to live, explain how your rent is calculated, inform you of your rights and responsibilities, and provide quick links to forms and other helpful HADC information. Please familiarize yourself with the following terms, as they will be used throughout the briefing. The voucher is a document that authorizes you to search for an eligible unit and specifies the size of the unit. The information on the voucher sets forth your obligations under the HCV program. The Request for Tenancy Approval, or RTA, is a document used to collect information about the unit that you select. The information is used to determine if the unit is eligible for rental assistance. The lease is an agreement between the participant and the landlord. By signing the lease, you agree to abide by all the terms stated in the lease. The Housing Assistance Payment Contract, or HAP contract, is the written agreement between the Housing Authority and the landlord. The contract must be signed by the landlord and the Housing Authority representative before payments will be made on your behalf. The tenancy addendum is attached to the lease. If there is any conflict with the tenancy addendum and other provisions of the lease, the tenancy addendum will control. This diagram illustrates the roles and relationships between the participant, the housing authority, and the landlord. The lease is a legal agreement between the participant and the landlord. The housing authority does not have ownership of your lease and cannot change the lease terms. Please read your lease carefully before you sign it. The voucher is given to the participant by the Housing Authority and authorizes you to search for an eligible unit. By signing, you are agreeing to the obligations of the family listed on the voucher. The Housing Assistance Payment, or HAP contract, is the written agreement between the Housing Authority and the landlord of a unit occupied by an HCV program participant. It designates the responsibilities of the landlord and the Housing Authority. It must be signed by both parties before the landlord can receive payments. Now let's talk about your voucher. You will sign your voucher when your transfer move has been approved and you have attended a briefing. The voucher contains the following information: the bedroom size you qualify for, the date the voucher was issued, the date the voucher expires. Please note, you must locate a unit and submit a completed RTA on or before this date, the date the extension expires, the name of the participant, and the name of the housing authority. This is an example of a voucher. By signing a voucher, you agree to follow the rules as set forth by the family obligations. The family obligations are listed on page 2, section 4 of the voucher. Included in your briefing booklet is a link to access the voucher extension request form. One 30-day voucher extension may be granted for circumstances beyond the family's control as listed on the request form. The extension request must be submitted to HADC prior to the voucher expiration date. You can request one 30-day move-out date extension at your current unit by completing a change of notice to vacate form. This form is included in your briefing booklet. Both you and your landlord must sign the form in order to extend your move-out date. The extended move-out date must be the last day of the month, and payments to your new landlord cannot begin until after the move-out date at your current unit. If you're moving as a result of abatement, all inspection items must be completed in order to extend your move-out date. Your request to move can also be canceled by completing a change of notice to vacate form. Both you and your landlord must sign the form in order to cancel your move. You can transfer your rental subsidy to another housing authority anywhere in the United States. This process is called portability. In order to port, you must submit a portability request form and attend a briefing. Once you attend a briefing, your paperwork will be sent to the housing authority of your choice. The receiving housing authority will also schedule you for a briefing and issue you a voucher. During the briefing, you will receive information about their local policies and processes, as well as payment standards and subsidy amounts. Please note that the time frame for portability will depend on a number of factors, including the receiving housing authority's processes and procedures, and many housing authorities require that there are at least 60 days remaining on your voucher. Every housing authority has different rules, regulations, and timelines. Please contact the receiving housing authority for more information on their policies and timelines. Now let's discuss the move process in DeKalb County. Each housing authority determines its policy for setting occupancy standards or determining the voucher size. In DeKalb County, the following policies are utilized. The head of household and spouse or co-head will be assigned one bedroom, and for every 2 additional household members, 1 bedroom will be assigned, regardless of age or sex. 1 additional bedroom will be added for a live-in aide and his or her family members if applicable. Participants may select a larger bedroom size unit or shop up if the unit is affordable and reasonable. An affordable unit does not cause the family to pay more than 40% of their adjusted monthly income toward the rent and utilities. A reasonable unit is not higher in rent than similar unassisted units in the same area. Please note, if you select a larger unit, you may incur additional costs that may result in a higher participant portion of rent. Your briefing booklet contains the payment standards for HADC based on bedroom size and zip code. The payment standard represents the maximum amount that HADC will pay towards gross rent, which is defined as rent plus utilities. Your briefing booklet also contains a list of HADC jurisdictions. This list specifies which cities and zip codes are located in DeKalb County. Federal regulations state that when participants initially move into a unit, they cannot pay more than 40% of their adjusted monthly income toward rent and utilities. Paying more than 40% causes a rent burden, which means that the unit cannot be approved. Your briefing booklet contains a tenant rent estimator, which provides an estimate of the rent amount that can be approved based on your bedroom size and zip code. The estimate does not take household income into consideration. Please note that the tenant rent estimator is simply an estimate. You can still submit the RTA if the rent is more than the estimated maximum rent amount listed on the estimator. If the unit is a rent burden, an offer will be sent to the landlord for them to accept or reject. If rejected, the RTA will be canceled. If accepted, the RTA will continue to be processed. An important step in the move process is locating a unit. You should locate a quality unit in a quality neighborhood where you and your family can be happy. Your briefing booklet contains resources to assist in locating a unit. Please consider the following when searching for a unit. Is the neighborhood clean, quiet, and safe? It may be helpful to ride through the neighborhood at different times. Is the location of the unit easily accessible to your place of worship, your job, and your children's school or daycare? Is the location accessible to any support agencies you need or use? Does the style of the unit and floor plan meet your needs? Is the unit clean, painted, and ready to rent? Always view the actual unit that you will be leasing and not a model. Does the landlord or owner treat you with respect? Are there good schools and libraries in the area? Are there shopping centers and food markets? Is there a hospital or medical clinic? Are there laundry facilities? Are there any recreational facilities, parks, or playgrounds in the area? Is the unit free of lead-based paint? Can you and your family be happy living here? The Good Place to Live packet located in the briefing booklet will assist you with completing a pre-inspection of your prospective unit. Some common fail items include utilities not on in the unit. Please note, utilities should be on and in the landlord's name prior to signing a lease. Other common fail items include inoperable heat supply, missing or insufficient weather stripping, loose or torn carpet, missing or cracked electrical outlet cover plates, cracked or peeling paint on walls, cracked or broken window panes, evidence of roof leaks or pipe leaks, dirty stoves and ovens, and insufficient bath ventilation. You may find the following websites helpful in locating a unit: www.socialserve.com, www.gosection8.com, and www.georgiahousingsearch.org. Links to these websites are available in your briefing booklet. The briefing booklet also contains a link to the United Way 211 Community Resources Guide. If you feel you've been a victim of housing discrimination, take action. Fair housing laws protect you from discrimination in the following areas: race and/or color, sex, religion, family or familial status, lawful income source, age, national origin, disability, marital status, and sexual orientation. More information about how to file a discrimination complaint is located in your booklet. Please note that HADC is obligated to provide the following information to landlords: the participant family's current and prior addresses, and the name and addresses of the family's current and prior landlords if known. All other information remains confidential and will not be disclosed. Discussions regarding security deposits are between the landlord and participant and are governed by the lease. HADC does not assist with disputes regarding security deposits. The landlord cannot charge more for an assisted unit's security deposit than they would for an unassisted unit. In addition, the security deposit cannot exceed 1 month's rent. A move process overview is contained in your booklet. It details step-by-step what occurs when you move. First, you are notified to attend an HCV briefing. You are issued a voucher with an expiration date and a request for tenancy approval, or RTA. Only one RTA will be issued and processed at a time. Once you locate a unit you wish to rent, provide the RTA packet to the landlord. The landlord will complete the packet, and both the landlord and tenant or participant will sign the packet. Once the RTA packet is completed, it must be submitted to HADC. The occupancy team reviews and processes the RTA within 7 to 10 business days of submission. Please note that delays are caused if incomplete RTAs are submitted or if there is missing information. The RTA will be canceled if the unit is not ready for inspection. For example, if the utilities are not on or the landlord is not present. If the unit is a rent burden or if the requested rent is not reasonable, an offer will be sent to the landlord for them to accept or reject. If accepted, the unit will be scheduled for inspection. If rejected, the RTA will be canceled. If an RTA is canceled by HADC, a new RTA will be issued. Tolling is a provision that states that if an RTA is canceled, you will not be penalized for the time that it took HADC to process the RTA. If the RTA is approved, the occupancy department will request an inspection for your unit. The inspector will schedule the inspection with the landlord within 15 days of the RTA being approved. You should not sign a lease or move into the unit prior to the unit passing inspection. If you do, you will be responsible for the full rent. Please note, no payments will be made to the new landlord until after the scheduled move-out date of your current unit. Once the unit passes inspection, the occupancy team will request the lease from the landlord, advise if the lease meets HADC requirements, and determine the effective move-in date. A housing assistance payment contract will also be generated for the landlord to sign. Once the lease and contract are signed, the move will be completed. A contract rent notice will be sent to the landlord and participant to notify of the portion of rent to pay. Please note, rental amounts will not be determined until the move is completed. In order to have continued success as an HCV program participant, you must be a good neighbor, report changes, and comply with all family obligations. Being a good neighbor consists of becoming familiar with and adhering to the expectations of the community of which you are a part, and ensuring you are complying with the terms of the lease. In addition, you should be respectful of others' property while maintaining and properly caring for your unit. All changes must be reported to the agency in writing using the Change of Income and Family Composition packet. This packet can be obtained at the front desk, from your housing specialist, or online at www.decaphousing.org. All household changes must be reported to the agency in writing within 30 days. Household changes include birth and adoption, or if a household member has moved out of the unit. HADC's visitor policy states that visitors can be present in the unit up to 30 consecutive days, or 90 days total within a calendar year. All income changes must be reported to the agency in writing within 10 days. You are responsible for providing verification of income changes up front. Examples of income include wages, child support, TANF, unemployment, self-employment, Social Security or SSI, Veterans Assistance benefits, and pensions. Please familiarize yourself with the family obligations. You will be expected to follow all rules and regulations of the HCV program. A complete list of these rules can be found in your booklet. Failure to abide by the rules as follows can result in termination of assistance. Please note that this applies to all household members and guests. You cannot make side payments or arrangements with the landlord, give false or misleading information, have unauthorized persons living in the unit, commit violent or drug-related criminal activity, rent from relatives, fail to provide complete and accurate information, fail to report changes in household composition, fail to report income changes, or violate any of the family obligations. In addition, if you commit fraud to obtain housing or during participation in the HCV program, you could be evicted, required to repay all overpaid assistance, fined up to $10,000, imprisoned for up to 5 years, prohibited from receiving future assistance, or subjected to additional state and/or local government policies. Also, HADC can require families to enter into repayment agreements as a condition for maintaining their assistance. Here is an example to help illustrate an overpayment caused by failure to report income. Participant A has a zero portion of rent to pay. The participant begins a new job in May, but does not report it to HADC. During the annual re-examination in October, participant A's housing specialist discovers that they are working and did not report the income. The specialist determines that participant A should have started paying $300 per month toward their rent when their employment began. The specialist then calculates that HADC overpaid a total of $1,200, or $300 per month for 4 months. Participant A must now pay $300 per month to the landlord for rent and enter into a repayment agreement to pay the $1,200 back to HADC. The amount can be paid in monthly installments. Please note that only one repayment agreement will be offered during the lifetime of an individual's participation on the HCV program. If you violate the family obligations, you will be ineligible for assistance and a proposed termination letter will be sent to you. If you receive a proposed termination, you will be given the opportunity to request an informal hearing. The request for a hearing must be made within 14 days of the date on the letter. Additional information regarding terminations can be found in your booklet. The Violence Against Women's Act, or VAWA, provides protection for victims of domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, or stalking, as well as the members of the victim's immediate families. VAWA states that an applicant for assistance or a participant receiving assistance under a covered housing provider may not be denied admission to, denied assistance under, terminated from participation in, or evicted from housing on the basis of or as a direct result of the fact that the applicant or participant is or has been a victim of domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, or stalking, if the applicant or tenant otherwise qualifies for admission, assistance, participation, or occupancy. Please note, these protections apply to men and children as well as women. If this provision applies to you, you should complete the VAWA forms that are included in your briefing booklet or included with your proposed termination letter. HADC offers the Family Self-Sufficiency, or FSS, program to all participants. The program provides resources and supportive services to assist families in reaching their goals. More information is provided about the FSS program in your booklet, or you can complete an interest form online at www.residentservicescorp.org/programs. For future reference, please refer to this video and the information contained in your briefing booklet. For additional questions or assistance, please contact HADC Client Services at 404-270-2500, or you may contact your housing specialist. You can find additional contact information for the HCV department in your briefing booklet or by visiting www.decabhousing.org.